Hi guys, Jangro here, and welcome back to my Valhelsia Enhanced Vanilla Hardcore world. In this episode, we are going to build a tree farm with Create. Tree farm has not been very easy to do until the addition of Create, so we're going to do that next. So stick around. So here we are in our Create workshop of sorts, and you'll probably recognize this from previous videos. I've gone ahead and created this platform for our tree farm. Now, you don't need to do this. I just wanted to do this ahead of time because there's just a lot of block placing and tedious stuff. So I just wanted to get ourselves set up and ready to go. Below here is our campfire and encased fan that we've had before. An encased fan pointing, see the little arrow thing pointing down at the campfire, so that means the fan is down there. If we flip the switch, that means it's going to turn. You kind of see it turning there. Let's turn it off. And got pretty much everything we need here. Now, the first thing we're going to need is a mechanical bearing, which we're going to put right on top of this encased fan. It needs to go on a shaft, and the encased fan, the back side of it has a shaft sticking out of it, but you could have that lower end running off just a shaft from some other power source. We could have powered it off our water wheels, or even that sideways water wheel over here would make a good base for that. But we're going to use a campfire and an encased fan. That's pretty much what everybody does. Now, on top of this mechanical bearing, let's break a block here just so we can work from up here. Now, if I flip that switch, it's not going to turn the bearing, even though the fan is turning, and that can be confusing. Don't worry about it. As soon as you put something on top of the bearing, it'll start to turn. So, for example, we're going to want a radial chassis on top of this. If you put it on there, it's going to turn. Which to turn it off. So the radial chassis is the beginning of our tree farm. And in order for it to turn something, we need to apply some glue or a slime ball. If I grab a slime ball, just so we can see them both work, and the glue. Now the glue is made with 2 slime balls and an iron plate. We can use the slime ball. It doesn't use it up, but you can't use a slime ball on everything. You can't right click on, for example, a non-chassis with a slime ball. You need glue for that. So we're going to use glue from here on out just because it works for everything. So the way a chassis works is that you glue things to it and they will move with it. And there's linear chassis and radial chassis. If we just grab some blocks here, let's just grab some end stone. If we stick that to this side right here with the glue, and we put one here without glue, and we flip the switch. The one with glue is going to move, and the one without is not. Let it get all the way back around again. Stop it there. So let's break that. Now if we connect something else out here, we don't need glue because chassis can be configured to grab things from a certain radius. So when it's 1, it's only going to grab this first one. If it's 2, 3, 4, and that will just automatically grab all of those things. Now if we, let's put it on 3, see what happens here. So you see that last one didn't move. Now we can also just apply glue to these things. So if we break these and use glue, you can go off in directions, any direction here. As long as we apply glue, these things will all stick. So that's how chassis work. You can create contraptions that move platforms, doors, all sorts of things with these radial chassis and linear chassis, as you'll see. Okay, let's break these things and let's just start to build our tree farm. You'll see how this all plays in. You'll also see why I have these dirt blocks configured like this. Okay, so let's build in this direction. We've got the glue. Now we need linear chassis. And we want to be kind of standing over in this direction so that we get the faces facing us. This is the face. We're going to make it 6. Now, the thing about chassis is you don't need glue because they kind of connect together. As long as the first one is glued to the face, it'll turn. See? And now we're going to also set up all the chassis here at once. Also want these chassis, radial chassis up here, and we need another row of linear chassis up here on the top. Let's see why. Same thing. Okay, so we've got 2 arms of 6. And they'll all spin because we put glue right there on that face. But because, again, they're chassis, they'll stick together in a line, so you don't need to put glue in between each one. Now, where this thing stops, there's some settings here. Down here, maybe we can read it better. Always place when stopped. Only place near initial angle. Only place when anchor destroyed. So it won't place these as blocks. And that's important if you don't want it to break what's beneath it. So I'm going to always place it on this initial angle here. So that no matter where it is, it's always going to come back to that direction when I stop it. That's acting like... Interesting. That's acting like I would have expected. Oh, it only places when it's near the initial angle. So it's not going to automatically snap around there, but it'll only place it when it's near it. So it just protects the other directions. There. So I have to wait for it to be in that location, but then it'll place there. If I stop it anywhere else, it won't place. Now when you place a contraption, it breaks the blocks beneath it. Okay, so while we're here with the wrench, let's set all these things to 1, because you stop. If it stops and it's like touching a tree, they might pick it up. I'm gonna put it all 1 just to prevent it from picking up random blocks along the way. Because, you know, again, these since they're chassis, even though it's set to 1, it's gonna move the whole thing, as you saw. Okay, so now as we saw this turns in a counterclockwise direction, so the business end is right here, and we're going to put saws on these chassis. And that's right here, these mechanical saws. Make them. It's pretty easy. Need some iron sheets, otherwise iron and andesite casing. And we're going to stick those right on here. And now as it spins, if it hits a tree, it's going to cut it down. And on the back side, we need deployers because we need to replant saplings. Now deployers work like, somewhere in here I have deployers. There they are. And we need to glue them on. stand down under here, they'll point in the right direction. Now, deployers have two settings. One is kind of a left click and one is a right click. They act like a player. And the pokey bit is we'll place something. We'll place a block. And that's what we want. And we're going to want to put some saplings in those. And we also want to filter them to the sapling that we're going to work with. So there's a filter spot right here in the back. We just right click with whatever it is we want it to deploy, which is a sapling. Now we're doing oak saplings first, but we're going to do some other types of saplings later. So now it will only grab saplings out of the storage of these chassis to place down. Now we can preload them. So if we split these saplings up a little bit here, we can preload these deployers by just right clicking with that stack. That puts 7 in that hand, 7 in that hand, and we'll leave the rest empty and we'll see how those fill up. Now finally, we need some storage on here. So we need a couple chests. Did my glue get all used up? And we'll put our chests right here. And chests. Now this acts as a storage. The neat thing about chassis is they move things between blocks that collect and use items and storage. So all the trees and all the things that these things cut are going to get sucked in automatically and put in this chest because these are connected to the chest through this chassis. And likewise, these deployers are going to grab saplings from that storage. So if we put the rest of the saplings in here, because they're filtered, they're going to grab those saplings and place them. Now at this point, I think we're good to run this. We'll see how this thing works. It's going to plant saplings where it can in these dirt spots, and it won't where it can't in the brick spots. And it's probably going to run out of saplings. And now as these things grow, they're going to get cut down. So let's grab some bone meal and make these trees grow here. And as it breaks, it's going to grab saplings, fill in its inventory, and these deployers are going to use those saplings over here. So we should see it fill in some of this other dirt with saplings. It missed this one, so this one doesn't reach. That's a useless block. So if we plant a few more. And they'll eventually get enough saplings to fill the whole thing. They'll grow, get cut, and the cycle continues. Start to fill in some more of those. See, there they go. All right, let's shut this off. Now, because it stopped right here, it broke those two saplings that were under there. So we're gonna move this. Didn't plan that one out very well. Dirt. think we can put one lone one right here. Let's see. This one doesn't work. And we see, once we stop it, we can open this chest and we can see, oh, I put my glue in there. We've got 50 oak logs, we've got some apples and twigs. The saplings are getting all used up, which is great. So the next thing we need to do is get the items out of the tree farm. And to do that, we need to use the portable storage interfaces because that chest will fill up and then the stuff will just get dropped. So portable storage interface. Need some glue. You just need to glue it. Technically, we don't need top and bottom, but you put a storage interface there. It's facing out. And over here, we're going to have lined up with the arm, and it's 6 out is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if we put a chest out here with another storage interface on top of it, let's put a chest right here. This is where things will go. And a chute pointing into the chest. And the other storage interface right here. Pointing this way. And now when this arm swings around, it will connect to this one, push things down into this chest. Open it up so we can see what's happening. All right, so let's start it up again. So we're going to reach here, and it'll span 1 or 2 block gaps. So as it comes around again, we should see that it is going to drop some things off. You can see the things going down through the chute, and now we've got some more of each of those items. Pretty cool. Okay, let's stop it. Gets over closer to that side. Now, let's reconfigure this with another type of tree, and we're going to do it with trees that grow in 2x2, which is why I set it up like this. Now, again, we could have had this just set up on a big, flat piece of dirt, just maybe over here, dug down 3 blocks to put those things below the ground. However, by setting it up like this, we can grow 2x2 trees. 2x2 trees need space around on all sides, which is why I've got these kind of blocked off so saplings can't be planted. So if there's a sapling like right here and here, this 2x2 tree won't grow. Okay, so now let's get some spruce. Get some jungle. We have jungle saplings. We have 26 of them. If we put these in as the filter, and we replace them, empty hand, right click under here, we'll grab that, and empty hand, grab that. And let's just put these in the chest. It might drop them off if it doesn't get to plant them all in time. This might suck them out before they get out to the deployers, but let's see how that works. All right, well, we left this here. Now, as it comes around again, let's clean this up. And let's grow some of these. See, it's going to chop down this entire thing. It needs to get through all 4 base blocks, but then it's going to take the whole tree down. You can see it stopping 4 times. All that jungle wood just went into this chest. We got a whole stack and a half from that. Yeah, it sucked some of these saplings out. So let's just plant them manually, help it out. Grow a couple more of these. Last base log. And there goes the whole tree. Pretty awesome. Now, as this collects more saplings, it will fill out the rest of those blocks, and we've got a jungle tree production going here. Now, we can do stuff like mix the different filters on those deployers and have like oak on the outside, set up a different pattern for the dirt, but getting pretty fancy. I'll leave that as something for you to figure. All right, here's another tree that grew. Production just keeps on going. Pretty cool. All right, let's stop this. Just do a quick recap how this works. So again, we've got a mechanical bearing connected to 3 radial chassis, linear chassis connected with glue through the radial chassis out as far as you want to go. And on the back side, deployers filtered with whatever type of sapling you want to use. And on the front side, wood, mechanical saws, a storage chest, all connected with glue. And in between the 2 arms, a portable storage interface that will line up with another interface over here with a gap of 1 or 2 blocks. Below that, something to pull the blocks out of the interface, like a chute, which is nice and fast, into some sort of storage. We can ultimately connect this up to our applied Energistics system. And there we go. We've got all the wood we could ever hope for. See if it breaks that tree. It did. Good. Yeah, no saplings are going in here. They're all going into the deployers. And they just keep planting as they can. So there you have it. There's a create tree farm. A create crop farm works in a very similar way. You just put harvesters on there instead of saws. You don't need the deployers because they automatically replant. So they just take the plant, leave the seeds there, and that just goes on forever. But otherwise, it's the exact same process. You can actually mix the two, put a couple more linear chassis out, and have harvesters going out in a strip of kind of garden on the outside of the trees. So sky's the limit. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned a few things about deployers and chassis and mechanical bearings. Make some pretty cool automation. Thanks for watching. Please like the video, subscribe, helps a lot. Leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'll see you next time.